got to hit record, but I didn't. It is every teacher's biggest fear, forgetting to hit the record button. Okay, awesome. We'll come back to a seated or a standing grounding position. I'm just going to turn the light on here. Okay. Okay. So just taking a second, finding a shake, just kind of letting your day go, letting your week go so far. Feeling into your body. Okay, we'll still the body down. We're going to bring both hands to your stomach. Yeah. We're going to do a little bit more of breath work today. So if you get dizzy or short of breath at any point during this, then please take a break, catch your breath, and breathe normally. Otherwise, you'll kind of stay with this breath counting work that we're going to do. Okay, so we'll keep both hands over the low belly, and then we'll close the eyes. And just starting by noticing where your breath is. Are you feeling that inhale into your hands in that low belly? Or does that breath feel like it's moving higher into your chest or into your neck? And wherever that breath is for you, I just want you to invite that breath down into your hands. So into that area right under your belly button. Thinking of breathing all the way down into your sit bones. So as we do some of this breath work, you're going to stay with nasal breathing. If that makes sense for you. If it doesn't make sense for you, you can always breathe through your mouth. We're going to do something called box breathing. So we inhale for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds, we exhale for 4 seconds, and then we hold for 4 seconds. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead and start that inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And inhale. Hold. And exhale. And hold. Just a couple more like that. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. One more. Inhale. And hold. And exhale. And hold. Okay, good. Go ahead and just return back to normal breathing. Just notice how the body's feeling. Just taking note if that was hard for you, if that was easy for you. And then on your next exhale, we'll open the eyes. Okay, awesome. We're just going to start by waking up the nervous system. So we'll bring hands to the scalp, giving ourselves a really nice head scratch using your nails or your knuckles. All the way up over your head, your hairline. And then today, I also want you to get the back of your neck. So just giving a scratch or a rub to the back of your neck. You can even do the side of your neck if you want. But this is also a really sensitive area for us. We're just staying on the skin. We're not going too deep here. Okay, good. And then release that. Just notice how everything's feeling. This up here. We'll grab the earlobes. If grabbing the earlobes is hard, you can always use your knuckles just to push the ears around. So grabbing the earlobes and pulling down and back behind you. Just holding that for a few seconds. And then you're going to grab that little nub in the front of your ears and you're going to pull forward just slightly. Remember, all of these movements we're just pulling enough so we feel the skin pulling back. And then grabbing the tops of your ears and pulling up and back behind you. Okay, good. And then taking your knuckles or your hands, whatever feels good. I kind of like using my knuckles. I'm going to trace the outline of my eyebrows. Okay, so I'm kind of right at the top of my eyebrows. This place holds a lot of tension. So I had mentioned last week that we have something called our back line, which is this fascial line that comes all the way up over the head and it finishes right at the top of our eyebrows. So this area can actually hold quite a bit of tension. And just noticing how that area is feeling for you. Is it tender? Is one side more tender than the other? Does it feel fine? And then you're going to bring that down, put my headphones back on, down into your cheekbones. So using, again, knuckles might be a better choice here, and dragging from the cheekbones all the way down to the jaw. Try to stay on the soft tissue here. So I'm kind of in the back part of my cheekbone as opposed to the more forward part. And as you do this, let your jaw go slack. Let that jaw hang heavy. We have a lot of cranial nerves that innervate this area. Our faces love to be touched, our heads love to be touched. So, using this as a way to calm the nervous system, but it can also help with a handful of other things. Yeah. Okay, good. And then coming to your chin and using fingers or knuckles, just giving that chin a little bit rub. We can also, believe it or not, hold some tension in the chin. And you can even kind of trace that along the jawline. Let the jaw be slack as you do this. If it feels better for you to do this slow and do a drag down from the lower lip to the chin, you can do that too. I kind of like to do a little bit wiggle. I feel like that releases my tension a little bit more. But whatever feels good for you. Don't drop much lower than the jaw. We've got a lot of lymph in this area, so we want to be gentle there. Okay, good. So you're going to take your hands. We're just going to explore a little bit more with the face. I'm going to stay zoomed into the camera here. If you're able to open your hands, you're going to open your hands and spread the fingers wide. If that's challenging for you, you're just going to pull the wrists back. So pull the knuckles and the wrist back towards you. And then you're going to make this really big surprise face like, ah, I'm so excited. I just won the lottery. Yeah. And then you're going to get really small. And I want you to find that, oh gosh, what do you call it? Fish lips, where you're sucking your cheeks in and you have that concerned face between your eyebrows. And then you're going to make a fist. There we go. Okay. And then everything spreads, get wide, mouth is open, eyes are really big. Yeah, life is awesome. Good. And then make fish lips and make a fist. Good. Yeah, life is awesome. Get big. Ah! I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. And then make the fish lips. One more time. Yeah, get excited. Woo! And then fish lips. Okay, good. Awesome. Nice. Okay, go ahead and shake that out. Don't worry, when Zoom records, it just records me. It doesn't record all of you. Okay, fingertips coming to that area just under the collarbones. We're going to do a tapping of that area. And then we're going to add a hum. So lips are closed. If you're able to, take an inhale, and on that exhale, find a hum. You're going to go all the way to that end of your exhale. Try to keep your voice strong for as long as you can. When you get to the end, inhale, and then exhale, do 2 more hums like that. Start to bring that tapping down the sides of the body. And then maybe for your last hum, try to hum a higher note, and then you're going to tap your low back. All the way to the end. And then go ahead and relax. Hands will come to the belly. We'll find that clockwise belly rub, tracing the outline of the ribs on the top, and then circling down to the pelvis. Yeah, just noticing what parts are tender for you here. If you find a tender part, try to relax into it. So when you're doing this, you want your belly to be really, really relaxed. Finding that tender spot and then holding into it, maybe taking a couple of deep belly breaths, and then continuing with that circle. Okay, good. And go and release that. And then just finding a nice, easy rotation, swinging the arms. If you're able to tap your opposite knuckles to your low back, then do that. And if you're standing, just letting your hips and everything rotate with you. Yeah. Okay, you're going to keep doing that, except the front hand is going to tap the opposite shoulder while the back hand taps the back. Yep. Just noticing how everything is feeling right now. Last one. And relax. Good. We're going to find a gorilla beating on the chest. So using an open hand or kind of a soft fist. This time I'm going to have your jaw hang open. Channel your inner gorilla. You might notice there's some tender spots, maybe closer to your armpits, or maybe even closer to your chest bone. Go all the way to the end of your breath, just like we did with humming. And then relax. Okay, good. All right, we'll do some quick body tapping here. So starting with whichever arm you'd like. We'll tap going down the outside of the arm and then up the inside. Down the outside and up the inside. Just go ahead and do 3 on each side. Feel free to change the kind of sensation that you're using. Maybe it's more of a rub or a grab. Using a soft hand or soft fist. Good, and then coming all the way up. Make sure to get the bottom of the armpits up and over the top of the shoulder, like you're giving yourself a pat on the back. If you're able to reach that, if that's hard to reach, you can just do more of the front of your chest. Yep. And then, sorry, we forgot that on the other side. So go back to that first side, give yourself a pat on the back, a pat under the armpit. Yeah. And then coming to the legs, we'll find the tap going down the outside of the legs and then up the inside of the legs. And again, maybe just finding a different way to tap or rub or grab your body. Some days I like to use a hard fist. Some days I like it to be a little bit more gentle. So just listening to your body, knowing what's right for you today. Okay, making sure you get the tops of the thighs, a rub or a tap. If you're able to reach the bottoms of the thighs, if you're able to reach your glutes, if you're standing, feel free to give the glutes a little bit of love. Okay, and then we're going to come to a little bit more joints here. So we're going to walk it back to the upper body. So just starting with the wrist, we were doing this a little bit last week, spending a little bit more time on the joints. So I'm grabbing my wrist with one hand and I'm just circling, twisting that hand back and forth over the wrist. If it's hard for you to grab the wrist, you can just use your knuckles and rub the whole wrist area, the front, the back, and the sides. Otherwise, kind of grabbing and twisting. And then go ahead and do that for the other side. We tend to hold a lot in our joints. Our joints take a lot of abuse. They're usually the ones that get beat up the most, and we also ignore them the most. And then coming to an elbow, doing the same thing, just kind of finding a twist around the elbow. And then finding a twist above the elbow and below the elbow. So we're just doing like 3 or 4 in each position. Noticing if there's any tenderness there. If you spend a lot of time on phones, computers, driving, then this can be a really tender area. And then go ahead and come to that other elbow, twisting right over the joint. And then twisting just below the joint and just above the joint. There's also this idea, especially in Eastern medicine, that we hold a lot of emotions. A lot of things get easily stuck in the joints. So this is just always good to come back to. Okay, coming more to the hands and the fingers. Let's give the hands a rub. And building up a little bit of heat, rubbing the back of the hands. Good. And then grabbing each finger, if you're able to grab each finger, find 5 or 6 bottle cap twists back and forth, working your way down. If grabbing the finger is hard, I want you to spend your time rubbing the tip of your finger with your knuckles. Remember, we focus more on the tips here, just because this is where a lot of our meridians begin and end. So if you're going to focus on one point, that's always a good point to go to. Yeah. Switching hands when you've done that first hand, bottle cap twisting or rubbing the tips of the fingers, whatever is accessible to you. Working your way down. Actually, you know what? I'll stay zoomed in. Good. Okay, so now we're just going to mobilize that area. So for folks where opening and closing the hand is hard, you're just going to start to find a wrist and elbow wave forward. Wrists go up, wrists come down, and then the elbows follow. Wrists come up, the elbows follow, wrists go down. So almost as if, and sorry, my fists, for those of you that can't see me, my fists are facing forward, as if my fists and my elbows are kind of riding this wave. Yeah. Okay. If you are able to open your hands, I'm going to have you start to reach from the fingers as you come up and then make a fist to dive down. Reach from the fingers up, make a fist to dive down. And can we make that wave a little bit bigger? Like now we're going to push our hands all the way up to the ceiling and then push our hands down to the floor, up to the ceiling, and then down. You don't have to roll all the way down to the floor, maybe just rounding the upper back, but moving from the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. Inhale up and exhale down. Can we bring the head into it now? Inhale up, looking up. Inhale down, look down. Inhale up. Sorry, I meant to say exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. This is challenging my coordination also. Inhale up, exhale down. Last one. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, good. Coming to the lower body a little bit. So if you're able to reach the knees, I'm just going to have you do that same thing, kind of finding a twist around the knees. Whether you have sensation here or not, it's always good to give some attention to the lower body also. And then finding a rub or a twist right above the knees, a rub or a twist right below the knees. And again, just doing like 5 or 6 of those in each position. Okay. And then we're going to work our way down. So for those of you that are able to access your feet, you'll come to the feet. Today, I'm going to have you do a towel twist with your foot. So as if you were wringing out your foot, like if your foot was a towel, twisting the 2 hands in opposite directions to create a kind of a side tilt with your ankle. Okay, so just going back and forth, using your thumbs or your knuckles to rub the bottom of your feet. If reaching your feet is challenging for you, you're going to be finding a twist around your lower leg, working your way up. So the same thing we normally do, but instead of using your knuckles to drag up, we're just doing a different technique, using a different tool here. I'm twisting around the calf 5 or 6 times as I slowly drag my hands up to my knees. If reaching the lower legs is kind of challenging, you're going to do that same thing, but you're going to do it on the upper legs. Pushing and twisting, going from the knee to the hip, and then starting over again, from the knee to the hip. Okay, so whatever you're able to reach. And then let's go ahead and switch sides. Finding your towel, wringing out the towel with your foot and your toes, or working your way up, twisting the lower leg, or twisting the upper leg. Yeah, and you're just noticing things here. What parts of your skin and your muscles feel loose and supple? What parts don't feel so loose or so supple? What parts feel sticky, maybe even like they're matted together? What parts are tender? What parts don't you have sensation to? Okay, so you're just really staying dropped in with your body as you do this work. Okay, go ahead and relax. Let's shake everything out one more time. Let your breath go, let your lips go. Okay, and we're going to come into some bigger movements here. So taking the hands, let's interlace the fingers if you're able to, otherwise hands will just be up. Palms are facing forward. And you're just going to find so dragging the hands behind the head as if you were resting the hands behind the head, and then dragging the hands back up to the ceiling. Yep. Lowering down and then lifting up. Trying to keep at least a couple of the fingers interlaced as you lower and lift. Now, as you do this, Yeah. As you do this, we're going to bring in the eyes. As the hands go up, just the eyes tilt up. As the hands come down, just the eyes go down. Eyes go up, looking at something on the ceiling, looking at something on the floor. For those that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you do a head tilt. So just a small head tilt up, small head tilt down. Everyone else, though, I want your head to stay steady as you find this overhead arm glide. Eyes go up with the hands, eyes go down with the hands. Up and down. And now can you start to do it faster? Up, down, up, down. Only as fast as your eyes can go, where you can focus on the ceiling and or the floor before switching to the next one. So I'm just going to watch people here. Yes. Okay, good. And relax. Awesome. So again, hands are going to actually stay behind the head. You can also cross the arms in front if that makes more sense. You're going to side bend to the left and side bend to the right. Side bend left, side bend right. Okay, come back to the center. We're going to do a translation now. So your ribs and your shoulders stay parallel to the floor. Remember, this is a somewhat small movement. Yeah, that looks good, everybody. And now let's bring in the eyes. As you translate left, just the eyes go left. As you translate right, just the eyes go right. So same exact thing that we were just doing. Eyes are moving with the ribs. And then starting to pick up the pace. It's okay if your translation gets a little bit shorter and smaller as the eyes jump back and forth. For folks who are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you do the same thing you were doing before where you're going to move your head. So head and the nose turn as the ribs translate to the same side. Okay? Otherwise, just the eyes are moving. Just do a few more. Good, and then relax. Okay. Hands are going to come down. If you're able to interlace your fingers behind your back, try to do that. Otherwise, just reaching the hands for each other behind. And I want you to traction the shoulder blades down. So really creating a lot of space in the neck. Okay, and then we're all going to do these head movements. So tilting the head up, tilting the head down, tilting the head up, tilting the head down. Really trying to tuck your chin into your neck, into your throat. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. Good. Back to the center. Keep your hands in that position. Tilt your head to the left. And remember, if these movements don't make much sense for your neck, if you've got hardware or fusion, then I want you doing this more from your spine as opposed to from your neck. And then tilting your head in the other direction. Tilting to the left. And then tilting to the right. Awesome. All right. Let's just loosen that up. Go ahead and just finish with a backstroke here. For standing athletes, I'm just going to have you find just a few backwards lunges just to get the hips moving a little bit more. So stepping the feet back so your knees are in a 90-degree angle and just alternating sides. Or otherwise, you're just doing backstroke. Let the spine rotate with you. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. All righty. Nice work, everyone. I'm gonna have you grab your letter ball or ball-shaped movement of some ball-shaped object of some sort. Okay, go ahead and go right into playing letter ball. I'm gonna explain, for folks who are just joining us today, I'm gonna explain how to play this, but if you've been playing with me for a while, Remember, moving that ball around your body or throwing it around your body. Oops. You can bounce the ball against the floor or throw it against a wall. Yeah, so just go ahead and go right into that. If you're just joining us today, so holding that ball into your chest, you're going to pull the ball out at any angle around your body. Look at the ball, say the first letter or number that you see, and then pull it back into your chest. Move the ball to a different part around your body. Look at it, say the first letter or number that you see, and pull it back in. And you're just going to continue with that. I'm having a hard time gripping this ball today. So just continue with that. Pulling the ball out at a different angle around your body the whole time. If you're able to play catch with yourself, you're doing the same thing where the first letter or number that you see, and then throwing it to a different spot around you. I'm just going to watch people here. And if you're using something other than a letter ball, just making sure that your eyes are going to a very specific point on whatever the object it is that you're using. If it's a rolled up pair of socks, or if it's a pencil or something like that, just really making that as precise with your eyes as you can. Yeah. And not forgetting to get these angles above your head. Catching or reaching the ball so it's directly above you, off to the left, up and off to the right. Yep, that's really good. Okay, do a few more like that. Okay, I'm going to layer on, we're going to pull some brain speed games into this. So when you catch, let's go, when you catch a number, I'm going to have you do basically like a seated ab curl, where you're just going to roll, you're thinking of touching your nose to your belly button. Okay, so just finding a little bit of flexion through the spine. That's when you catch a number. When you catch a letter, I'm going to have you tilt and extend the spine and look up at the ceiling. Okay, so when you catch a number, you look down, try to touch the nose to the belly button. When you catch a letter, look up, nose to the sky. Okay, so go ahead and keep playing. Adding in that either flexion or extension in between each movement. The goal here is for you is to do the movement as quick as possible, whether it's a letter or a number. Making sure that makes sense for everybody. Yeah, so making it quick. That decision is going to be quick. I'm going to layer on one more. You can take it or leave it. When you catch a number, you flex down. But I want you, as you're flexing down, instead of saying, so if I catch a 20, you're going to subtract 5. So we'll subtract 5 from the number, and you're going to subtract 2 from the letter. Okay? So if I catch 20, as I'm going down, I say 15. If I catch O, you'd say M. You look up and you would say M. Okay, so subtract 2 letters, subtract 5 for the numbers. Okay, so again, just bringing the brain a little bit more into this, still adding a movement into your body, subtracting 5 for numbers, subtracting 2 for letters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, just trying to make those decisions as quick as you can, trying to do the math or the alphabet math as fast as you can. The alphabet math for me is the hardest. Yeah. Okay, so do maybe 5 to 10 more throws here. Yeah, nice work, everybody. Really getting really getting in a lot of spinal mobility work here. When you've done your last couple throws, just so I know that you're done, go ahead and set your letter ball down. And I'm just going to have you roll down to the ground, whether you're seated or standing. And just find your breath into the back of your ribs. Good, and then slowly roll yourself back up. Awesome. Okay. Let's bring a little bit more rotation into this. So right hand comes to left knee. Go ahead and rotate. Did I say that right? Let's see. Uh, yeah, I said that right. Okay. And then go ahead and rotate to your left. And then I want you to take that arm, stay in that rotation, lift that arm up and over as if you were drawing a rainbow around your body. And I'm going to have you tap your opposite knee. So you're tapping your right knee. Yep. Draw that arm up and over the body, coming back into your rotation. Up and over your body, tap that front knee. I'm going to give standing athletes just a different option. You're going to be in a lunge position. You could be holding that lunge position as you do the rainbow to rotation. Okay, so holding that lunge position. If holding a lunge position is too hard, you could just hold an upright lunge position or even a tightrope position where you've got one foot stacked in front of the other. Okay, so you have a couple of options there to challenge your balance or to challenge your hips. Okay, we're going to continue on. I'm just going to layer here. As you open and rotate, I want you to take your tongue and poke it into that side of the cheek. So if you're, let's see, we're rotating left, poke your tongue into the left side of your cheek, and then release the tongue when you tap the knee. Rainbow to rotation, poke the tongue into the left cheek, up and over, tap the knee. Rainbow, rotate, tongue into the cheek, tap the knee. Yep, do 3 more like that. Rotate with the tongue to tap, rotate with the tongue to tap. Last one, rotate tongue and tap. Yeah, nice work. Switching sides. Left hand to right knee. No, sorry, right hand to left knee. When I have to mirror you, it really tests my lefts and my rights. Okay, go ahead and find that rotation to the right. Remember when you're rotating, I want your eyes to go with you. Actually, hang on, everybody come back to the center. I'm just going to do just a quick teaching moment here. When you rotate, I'm seeing a lot of you where your chin is pointing up as you rotate. Okay, can we keep the chin parallel? So the floor of your mouth and the chin, can we keep that parallel with the floor as you rotate? Okay, so let's try that again. Yep. Rotating to your right and then drawing that rainbow up and over, tapping the opposite knee. Rainbow to rotate. Keep that chin parallel with the floor, up and over to tap. That's it. Rainbow to rotate. Yeah, that looks much better, everybody. Nice work. Yeah. And if you're doing this from a standing position, yeah. So Anya, if it's a little bit easier and anyone else who's standing, you don't necessarily have to reach down to your knees. Just keep your hands on the opposite hips. And you can be in as low of a lunge position as you like. Knees can be straight or knees can be bent, but just noticing my hands are coming to my hips instead of my knees. Yeah, that just might be easier, so it will keep your torso in a more upright position. Yeah, that works. Good. Let's bring the tongue into it. So as you rotate, tongue into the right side of your cheek and then back to the start. Rotate tongue into cheek, chin is parallel, and then coming back. Yeah, you've got 3 more. Rainbow to rotate with the tongue and center. Rainbow to rotate and center. Last one. Rainbow to rotate and center. Yeah, nice work, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna have you grab just one of your pencils. We're all gonna do this one. This is for the vestibular system here. I'm gonna stay zoomed in. Okay, so just as a reminder for this one, if you get dizzy or nauseous or watery eyes or anything like that, remember that's totally fine, but it means that you've met your edge. We just don't want to go too far past the edge. So take a break, close your eyes, grab some water if that happens. So holding this pencil out in front of you, your eyes are going to stay locked on the very tip of the pencil. Okay, again, so for this first one, I want that chin and that floor of the mouth to stay parallel to the floor. Yep. And you're just keeping your eyes on the pencil. You're going to start to turn your head quickly left to right as if you were telling somebody no. Like, no, I don't want to do this. You're only moving your head as quickly as you can and as big as you can side to side, where the tip of the pencil still stays in focus. Okay, so that might mean you are moving a little bit slower. Yep. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you doing the same movement, a quick head nod, a quick head shake side to side. Yeah, so we're all working the vestibular system right now. If you're doing a small head shake, that's fine, but are you able to turn your head a little bit more where you can still keep your eyes on the tip of the pencil? So challenge your range of motion and challenge your speed. Those are the 2 things you get to play with here. Mhm. If you're standing and you wanna make this harder, either find everyone go ahead and relax, sorry, you've done a lot. Either find a single leg balance or a walking the tightrope, okay? So if you wanna make that a little bit harder for those of you that are standing. Okay, same thing. I like to turn my pencil sideways for this one. You're gonna be nodding the head up and down like you're really excitedly saying yes to somebody. Yes, I want that. Okay. So same idea here. Eyes stay on the pencil as the head nods up and down. For those of you with hardware or fusions, you're going to be making this more of a full body movement. So if you're seated, it's going to be coming more from your spine, kind of more of your upper back, as opposed to your head and your neck. You can also cheat a little bit. So as the body goes down, I'm going to slightly pull the pencil up. And as the body goes up, I'm just going to slightly pull the pencil down. So my hand is doing the opposite of what my body's doing to make up for the lack of neck mobility if you've got a neck fusion or hardware in your neck. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay, good. Remember, if you get dizzy or anything like that, please take a break. We're just gonna do 2 more. Nice. Yeah, I see some people standing. That's great. Okay, so holding that pencil out in front of you, you're gonna find one diagonal. Pick a diagonal, either one. We're gonna do both. So, for example, head will go. So now I want your chin to lift for this one. Head will go up and to the left, down and to the right. Up and to the left, down and to the right. Eyes stay on the pencil. So I want you to imagine like your head is doing the disco. Same rules apply here. Where's the music when you need it? Yeah, this one is hard for people. Think of pointing with the chin or the nose. Like you're really doing that disco from your nose and your chin. There we go, there we go. Nice big movement. Yeah. Same thing for folks who have hardware in the head or the neck. You're just going to be doing this more from the spine, pulling the pencil in the opposite direction so that your eyes and your vestibular system gets a little bit of movement. There you go. Nice, Lynn. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and switch diagonals, doing the diagonal in the other direction. Yeah. There we go. Really do the disco. Head goes down to one armpit and then up to the ceiling. Down towards one armpit, up to the ceiling. Yes. Good. Good. Yeah. Do like 5 or 6 more. Didn't even realize what time it was here. We got carried away in the visual vestibular world. And then go ahead and relax. Okay, bring that pencil down. I'm just going to have you close your eyes, find a nice heavy roll down towards the floor. Let's just let the nervous system reset here. Breathing into your back. And then on your next exhale, slowly roll yourself back up. We can open the eyes for this one. And I just want you to find a sway from side to side. So if you're standing, you can be swaying just from foot to foot. Swaying, rocking, bouncing. This is all a really good way to reset the nervous system. If you feel like your body would make more sense to kind of find this sway forward back, you can do that too. I personally like the side to side sway, but every now and then I do catch myself doing more of a front back sway. Yeah. Okay, good. And then coming back to the center, just do a couple of shoulder rolls here. And then stilling the body, we'll close the eyes. And starting with your breath and just noticing where that breath is. Inviting it deeper, lower into your belly. You can put both hands over that low belly if that was helpful for you. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I will take any questions that you've got after. Just another shout out and a big thank you to Move United for continuing to sponsor these classes. And if you'd like to make a donation, any amount is always and very much appreciated. Sarah Dawn will post that link down in the chat box, so feel free to check that out. And I think that is it. I'll stick around for questions. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Of course.
Rachel, I have a quick question. This is Claudia.
Yes.
The vestibular diagonal move